Alright, welcome back to Pandemic Playground with Dave. We are back with surviving as a trader, and we did a few things off camera to make as much funds as we can, and still only about 2 million rich. Or poor in some senses. But yeah, time to head back to the base because we should be working on our solar farm and oxygen farm. So there was a bit of off-camera work and a bit of off-camera damage because I actually went back to Wasp Ridge for a quick second to get all the steel plates that were still there, and also flew all the way to the research station. Remember, there's a glass enclosure for the whole entire main base with the antenna. So I went there and collected all the glass and girders that were there, and then still could get a little bit more. There's just a little bit left that's kind of on the floor, but I can always go back and grab that a little bit later down the line. But as I grabbed as much as I could, I grabbed a little bit too much. Well, not a little bit too much. I filled up the whole entire cargo ship full of materials. So of course it naturally got a little heavy, and when I was bringing it downwards towards the ground, it couldn't lift up anymore. So that is the cause of all this damage here. So I did lose, unfortunately, the battery, one battery at least, this one right here. I didn't lose the other battery, which was a good thing, and luckily it didn't. But lost a little bit of the design work here, as you saw, and some of the beam blocks. So it wasn't significant damage. Oh, right. I did lose a bit of a thruster as well. So that thruster went offline because it took a lot of damage. So yeah, doing stuff off camera, it's a good thing and it could be a bad thing, as you see there. So, all right, so let's take a look in here. What do we have that we could potentially take with us? Looks like not much. We'll leave most of the stuff here. We should be okay to do something like that. So everything here, oh, we can take some magnesium with us, I think. Ooh, there's a lot of uranium here too. And we could potentially sell it back out and make use of it. Nah, I'm gonna grab it. So I'm gonna use that for the base. Although we are gonna make a solar farm and everything like that, still it's good to have the extra power, not just from uranium, but why not grab it from your free resources like the sun. Okay, so let's get out of here. Hopefully this ship is fairly fixed up. I think it is. So we're gonna fly back to our respawn pod area or a base and get things situated. All right, we're back at base, and honestly, we should really get a drone going, this cargo drone-like thing going, and turn it into drone and apply the drone or move or flight add-on or block, and coordinate the GPS from the trade base over there and our home base, so that way it can easily fly back and forth without me really controlling it. We just tell it to move and it'll just go. So that should be the better way of doing things, but we're gonna wait for that. But yeah, so now we can work on a couple of things. Number one is going to be kind of the power source, but I feel like we do need to move the cargo container just a bit as well, because it's kind of in the way of my current base and everything like that. So we should move it. All right, so we're gonna grab some materials for some piping, and temporarily maybe we'll just leave it right around here, so then that way we extend ourselves out just a bit so we have enough space for making other platforms and things like that. So we should have more than enough parts for everything that we need. So we So I wouldn't be too worried about that. So we're gonna put the large cargo container right over here. Get that situated. And pretty much move everything into here. So this is the, I'm just gonna call this the main large cargo container for now. And let's see how we're gonna move things over. So here's the cargo. Here's our main cargo. And we're just gonna start tossing everything over here by double click. All right, so that container is completely moved in terms of the material that's in there. I did actually forget that we are kind of connected here too for our parking. So should really T-shape this one out a bit. Maybe I just do a junction for now. And then connect the piping from here. And then we remove the large cargo container right here, if we can. All right, so that's done with. Get rid of this, get rid of this. And if we have to, just put the panels here that we were missing prior. And here is where we're going to use half block, and that's going to be the battered armor half block, I want to say. All right, so our base outdoor outside is all complete, so that's that. In terms of the hab station, our living quarters, probably going to move all this piping sooner or later. I think, hopefully. All right, so with the solar panel piece, I like where the sun's at because that's where it's rising, and then it comes all the way around this way basically. So we should move things around a little bit further out because we probably want to do a decent array of solar panels, and also what's it called? It's two oxygen farms. But actually, if we're gonna go the oxygen farm route, then we definitely need to do some kind of piping system right in here actually. So okay, this is gonna get a little bit on the tricky side, but let me just put some kind of skeletal piece right here just to secure what we currently have, and hopefully this doesn't fall. Okay, we're good. And instead of putting a platform here, we're gonna link, I think there's a port down here. No, okay, never mind. I was hoping to do a port right underneath for a piping system, but if not, that's fine. We're gonna just do it right over here. Let's just do a conveyor pipe junction there. And here, I guess we could do the same just in case. And then we'll just pipe it out pretty far. Right around, let's just say right around here. And then we'll put a junction here as well. Okay, let's just weld all this up and get started with the power source and oxygen farm. Okay, so that's all welded up. And from here, we need a nice little advanced rotor, which has a port on the bottom. Perfect. Weld that up. And don't know why I'm missing steel plates, but sure. All right, so we could do a bit of cylindrical columns right over here. Okay, we don't have to go too high up. Actually, no, we can't use cylindrical columns. What am I talking about? We are doing an advanced rotor. And I destroyed the rotor, had a big mistake. So in this case, we have to add our special friend that's called a pipe. So we'll just pipe it upwards right from here. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 high for no reason at all. And up here we could do a hinge system if we had the mats for it. All right, hinge system operational, rotor operational, and we just need to weld up the rest of the stuff here. Why did I choose to use the pipe end for this rotor? Looks terrible. So no reason for me to use that over there, but it's okay. Let's just weld up the rest of these before I run out of all my hydrogen. I shouldn't. And looks like I'm missing a few things. There we go. So we have a pipe up system towards the top. So now we just have to figure out the whole entire system with the oxygen farm and everything like that. And the oxygen farm, as interesting as it is, the problem with that, other than the shakiness here, the problem with that is there's only one port on there. So we got to figure out a way to do this pretty decently. So the port for the oxygen farm right here is pretty much on the bottom. So we'll probably have to crisscross these things along with the solar panels, or build the solar panels pretty much on it or something similar to that fact. Let me just get some more hydrogen first before we go crazy with this thing. Okay, so how should we do this? We definitely need to do a few piping here. So let's see. The problem with solar panels, I don't think we can throw it on the pipes itself, right? So like if it's sideways, yeah, we can't. So that's a bit interesting as well. But we are gonna need some piping, maybe a conveyor junction, a regular good old conveyor junction here. So we can just build it upwards, and that way we can connect two things, the solar panels and also the oxygen farm. So solar panels, you could easily kind of connect it like that. And then right next to it, we can do the solar farms. So farm right here. So we can do something like that. That's a possibility that we can do. And that might work out pretty well. The only problem I have here is this whole spacewalk jetpack problem where we run out of hydrogen fairly quickly, but it will just recharge at the same time too. So we don't have a lot of time to float in the air here, float in space. So let me see if this is gonna work. I think that might work out okay. So maybe we do we can stretch out the solar panels a bit more before we plop on the, what's it called? So I think, would it be safe to add one here like this? Probably not, right? I mean, it's just going up and down. Well, actually, this is not even the right direction to do this. And this spacewalk thing is going to be a death of me. All right, so we're going to have to plop on the solar panels, kind of like this here on this side. I am curious if I could plot one on the bottom here. I think we should be fine. It might conflict a little bit with that rotor. Not rotor, hinge. But it shouldn't be too bad. Hopefully. And we can extend this out just one more or so. And I'm going to run out of hydrogen again. So this is a bit of a problem, building problem that we're going to have. That's fun, unless we take a ship that we can just stand on top of while we're up there in the sky. I think that might be a good idea. Let's grab this one. So we just gotta turn the power on and unlock. Here we go. Yeah, look, we can do that. That is a decent way of building, I guess. A little bit annoying, but not too bad. It does have uranium in here. Yeah, it does. So we should be okay. Okay. So at least we can stand here and build. Can I remote control into this one? I cannot. Okay, so that's great. Okay. Yeah, so I want to add another one here and another one on that side. So let's just do it with the jetpack really quick. Plop that on there. And if we wanted to, we can go make this a little bit on the longer side on one of them. Actually, we might do 1, 2, and 3. And then if we really want to, we can close. Would that work out okay? It's gonna look a little excessive in some ways. But if we plug in a solar panel there and a solar panel here, it's nice and large solar panel for collection. But now the problem is where I'm going to put the oxygen farm. So if I put it on top here, it's not as big as your solar panel, so it might look a little funky up here. So I gotta think about this kind of design here, what that's gonna look like. I actually wonder if we could just do 2 oxygen farms like so. Can we put a panel on the side here? Nope, we can't. That's great. Yeah, so there's not much we can do about it in terms of the design of it. Yeah, that's where it gets a little funky. How should I design this out? All right, so actually solar panels. I think I have a decent idea here. All right, so this is kind of the design I was thinking. Kind of. It still works out. Not too bad. The only problem now is I'm not sure if that hinge is actually going to hold all that weight. I mean, it should be okay, I think. But how many hinges do we have that we could potentially have here so we can start moving one? So let's see. We're moving that one. Hinge. It's probably one of these guys here. Likely this one here. So if we move it, no, not that way. Let's move it this way. Are we able to move it back? Yes. Okay, I think we are okay then. So let that sit on its angle and start kind of welding it all up. All right, all set. And of course, the moment I'm done, we have this. Our friend Sandstorm. All right, time to get some health, power, all that jazz, and work out that solar array panel. Okay, so that's set, and I don't really want to go out in the storm, but I think we have to. Not a lot we can see out here, but we need to dismantle this guy right here because we don't need it anymore. So let's just take care of that. I was actually supposed to put some lights over there and completely forgot. And the usefulness of the light is so that we can see a little bit better when we're flying back. And I think I could put maybe a searchlight somewhere. Yeah, definitely put some searchlights up there to see a nice little strobe of lights going on. Or maybe we just throw some panels on it. What do you think? We can hold off a little bit, but at least we're still collecting energy, as you see there. Energy, some of the farms are running, so we're good. So we got rid of the old one. Now we just got to plop in the controls for everything here. So got to get into a nice vantage point where we can see it. Barely see it this way. That's fine. And we should have a custom turret controller somewhere. Yep, right here. So now we're missing everything. So we can do advanced rotor, and I don't even know which hinge it is anymore. It's probably, is it this one? Hinge. Yeah, it's hinge. It's this hinge here. Custom. Okay, so it should be that hinge, the one in the green. So just name hinge. And then we have a camera, so it's a regular camera, not a top-mounted camera. And ooh, I don't know if you saw that, but it went ahead and looked for the sun, because I think it's already previously enabled to track the sun. Where is that? Yeah, always aim at sun. So we quickly took that aspect of it and started to aim at it too. So that's looking good. It's not shaky as the old one, and I didn't do any sheer inertia with the rotor or the hinge just yet. So we'll leave it as that for now until it starts getting shaky, I guess. And do we want to put in searchlight or panels? Searchlights can be fun but also annoying at the same time. So I don't know. I'm kind of inclined to do searchlight. And that way we can just use that, and if we want to, we just target like our character or our ships or whatever the case is. So we could put some back here, I think, or even right over here to make it look decent. And that way it could track our character, if anything, if we want to set it that way, to kind of just flash onto us. I don't think we could build anything in between here, can we? Oh, we could. So we could even add more searchlights here if we really wanted to. That's actually pretty interesting. Interesting footprint I just did there. But let's see. If I put a searchlight, we put a few. Maybe we just do 1, 2, 1, 2 on each side, and that call it a day in terms of the searchlights. Be more than enough lights. So 1 here, 1 here, or 2 here. I think 2 here might actually look a little bit better. Let's just do that really quickly before we fall back down to the ground. Alright, we gotta lower the speed of this thing because it's a little bit on the scary side with a little bit of shakiness to it. So we can always go to the custom turret controller and make that change. So we don't need 9. We could probably do 1 or 0.5 or something like that. But that way the velocity doesn't swing it like super crazy. But yeah, we have our spotlights up and running. And even with the storm, we're getting 3 bars each. So that's not bad. That's definitely not that bad. All right. Perfect. So another thing that's great about the storm is the turbines spin really, really fast. Do I want a turbine farm is another question. I'm not a really big fan of turbine farms because they look generally really terrible. There's no really good way to design it, I think, to be honest. And I don't know. I mean, this solar panel system, not my best work, obviously, but it's functional and it has, yeah, it's functional and it works okay, I guess. So it should produce a decent amount of power, although we do have uranium, which we can use a reactor to power up our whole entire station too. But free resources is a little bit more on a beneficial side of it, I would say. Okay, so I feel like we should just fix this up, not fix this up, kind of tie it up here with some extra blocks for design or whatever it is. Do we need to? Absolutely not, but might as well deal with it. And I feel like we should put some kind of ramping system here. It's me just jumping over like this, as fun as it sounds, it's not an ideal thing to do. I kind of want to put a block underneath here just to look like it's being held up by something on the ground instead of floating, because I don't want it to look like it's floating. Right, so we should build something here, and it's either using a catwalk. I'm thinking catwalk or panels. Catwalk should be decent, but it does use a lot of small steel tubes, which, I mean, probably not as costly anyways. How much is a small steel tube anyways? I never really researched that aspect of it. Yes, this first time for everything. First time for anything. So it's 1.67 iron to make a small steel tube. Okay, that's cheap. So that's definitely worth it to make catwalks. Okay, so I do want to make a catwalk kind of like right above this thing so we can walk above it and around it easily. So we just plop a few of them right over here. Okay, so we can weld this up and we just got to ramp it just a tiny bit so we can walk around the pipes instead of constantly jumping over the pipes. Now we can use panels for that aspect of it. I don't think there is a ramp with the catwalks. So we also use those, what are those? Those graded things, whatever they're called. So catwalk, yeah, there's no like good slant. I mean, there's stairs, but don't really care to use stairs because it has, actually no, these are not that bad. But maybe not. I mean, that's looking like it's gonna cost a lot. Stairs has ramps, so that's not what we want to use. We can use maybe these things, the windows technically for it, or just use the panel. When these windows, I guess they're cheap enough to make as well. So look like that, and kind of look like steps, but you can see through, which is kind of what I want instead of panels. So yeah, I mean, why not? All right, there we go. So now we can easily walk over it with at least one side, and we'll just plop in the rest on this side. But one of the biggest problem we have right now is we are out of iron. So we never took back any iron from the trade base. So, I mean, that's something we could do, although I think we spent most of it already. But we do have a lot of materials in this current system too that we could potentially dismantle. So for an example, I think we have a whole bunch of large steel tubes. We can get rid of that as well. But here, let's just do this first. For the assembler, yeah, we ran out of iron. We could just throw in all the weapons that we don't use, just to get the little bits of gravel and stuff out of it too. So let's just do that first, and then we can go from there in terms of what do we want to dismantle to get some more iron. I think it's going to be large steel tubes, because large steel tubes gives us 10 per. And it looks like we're making a decent amount of it right now too. That's kind of holding it up. So large steel tubes, as you see here, I got 1,790. I don't think we need that much, although we can easily bring that to the economy base and turn it in as an acquisition if we wanted to go that route. But I think we have way too much of it anyways. Yeah, it looks like we do. So I probably shouldn't have queued up so much before, but let's just dismantle. How much we want to dismantle? Maybe like, let's leave it as that. That should be fine, and that's gonna give us a ton of iron anyways. And the only reason we need iron is construction components, because we only have 2 left or so. All right, so that's all set. And yep, we got a nice little catwalk-ish thing here, so we could just easily run over it without having to jump over it, and it makes it nice looking, kind of like a grid for the power thing connection, I guess. But here we go. This is now our nice little solar array, a solar farm array, or solar farm with a bunch of oxygen farms. So we have about 8, 9, 10, 11 of them. A bit of a middle finger at the very top of it. All right, so not looking too bad, kind of, but it's gonna be functional. So we're gonna keep it as is for now, and it looks like that hinge right there is supporting the weight, so we are good to go there. All right, so that is that for the power. The base itself, we could remove this thing here because we no longer need this tank. The oxygen tank itself, we can move it elsewhere if we wanted to, and I kind of feel like we should move this elsewhere. I don't even know if it's doing anything here. Probably not. And we can just throw it as an afterthought for now into this right here, and we can keep the O2H2 system over there running, no problem. Okay, so that should gather oxygen from the oxygen farms there through this whole piping system, and it should transfer it back out into, not out, but transfer into our hab station. At least we should have some kind of ventilation or air pressurization now with it. And I definitely do something with these doors really quickly, and because it's driving me crazy with this whole closing and opening, blah 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 blah. So it still looks like we don't have enough oxygen coming out of these vents for whatever reasons. So the vents here, yeah, it's slowly gaining pressurization. This is the air vent of the farm, so that's why it's still 100%. But here is a problem because it's very minimal here. So maybe we turn on the O2H2 really quickly here. So just turn that on, generate some oxygen for us, and hopefully it stores it in there. So where's our oxygen farm? So not farm, our oxygen tank, which is this one here. Yeah, it's filling up a little bit. So we're just gonna waste a little bit of ice that we don't have enough of anyways. I think 2k, 5k, very minimal ice left here, so that's definitely not a good sign. But we do need the oxygen for now, so We'll just do a decent amount of it and then turn it off. I think we're good here. So we're venting okay. The farm should gather a lot more oxygen for us, hopefully soon. As long as we don't run in and out to lose a lot of our oxygen, we should be okay. So, yeah. All right, so next piece of the puzzle, since we can do it really quickly or fairly quickly, we should make our medical bay. Not this one, or medical room. So the medical room is a very useful tool to have to speed up our healing and everything like that. So I know the port's on top and on bottom, so gotta find a good way to put this. And it's probably gonna be temporary anyways. So maybe I'll just throw it like this or like this. Probably like this for now, but then we gotta do 2 pipings to get to it. And if we did it this way, it wouldn't be as bad. I don't want to do it this way for now. Okay, plop that on, and we got our medical room. It's called, yeah, medical room. And this is gonna save our time from healing and getting our power back fairly quickly. Nothing's connected to get well, we could have the oxygen now, but not the hydrogen, because we don't have a hydrogen tank outside to fill up anything. But let's just pipe this thing right over here anyways. And this is temporary, as we're still working on updating the base a bit. But now we should be able to get oxygen, I think, from the oxygen farm or the oxygen tank at this point. We should put a hydrogen tank outside as well. So then that way we can have some hydrogen whenever we need it. So yeah. But since we're ventilated now, we can finally eat our tofu soup. And I think that's all the tofu soup that I have as well, which is quite surprising. Yep. All right, so looks like we can make a bunch more. I don't know why. I don't think we can queue up 100, but we'll just queue up a decent amount. And then that way we can fulfill our food and water and everything like that as well. Although it looks like we're pretty decent at it right now. Okay, so interesting enough, this doesn't do anything with vents, air vents, doors, or anything like that. So this becomes useless to us. I think timer blocks are a little bit more important at this time. And we don't even need a large timer. We could throw in a small timer here. And it looks like we already have a timer set up. I don't know what it does. So let's see what we have. I kind of forgot what these do. And oh, these are the farm stuff to, yeah, keep the farms stuff on and off, especially when we kind of kill the vent a little bit by mistake. Oh, this is the custom turret controller. Interesting. Okay. All right, so we could add a bunch more timers right around here, if anything, or maybe here, or even down here. Plenty of space. Put some right here, maybe 3 of them right there. Oop, I don't want to need a big one. So we just do 1, 2, 3, for no reason. We don't need 3, but just plopping them on for now, since we have some use for it. All right, so this one is not being used, so this is going to be our airlock system for now. So basically, what I would prefer to do at the moment is get my hatch doors. My airlock hatch doors, let's group them to airlock doors. And with the timer for airlock, let's just do a quick every 5 seconds we will close our doors. Just in case we've got to close them. And that's just temporary once again, for now. And of course we would need to timer block re-trigger it to start. Every 5 second loop. It should loop on its own. And it is. Okay, perfect. So when this door is opened, it should close in 5 seconds. It's 5 seconds too short. Potentially. Yeah, I think 5 seconds is a little too short. Let's change that to be... let's just say 10 seconds for now. Yeah, because I really think 5 seconds is too short. Especially for this door. That takes forever to open. Okay, that's not too bad. And close. Okay, perfect. Okay, so doors, we have some way of closing for now. Obviously, a sensor would be a little bit easier to open and close as we walk through it. But for now, it's just an easy setup just in case I forget to close the doors on the way out, so we don't waste too much oxygen and everything like that. We could manually put a button in here somewhere to do some depressurization if we have to, and it would be crazy to put kind of a control panel on the glass, but I feel like we could do that only because the way we have it kind of set up. I think we could do it, right? Let's see. Yeah, we could definitely put it inside. So we could, if we really, really wanted to, put a control panel on here. Looks a little crazy, but why not? I think this is the button one, right? Yeah. It'd be fun to put this thing here too. Anyways, let's put this one here. I think this is the one I like with the button. Yeah. So it's just sitting on glass for whatever reasons. But sure. So here we just want to do depressurization on and off for this. We'll make a toggle button. And that should be good. And if we want to, because I don't want to press the button, look back to see if it's depressurized, we could, I think, add an interior light or something like that somewhere. Interesting enough, I can't add one up here. Oh, because of this window. So that's okay. So that kind of defeats the whole purpose of everything. So never mind. We'll just leave it as that. We could, I guess we could turn around and see it if anything, but we press the button that should depressurize and not waste oxygen when I walk out. And when I come back in, I could always pressurize it back and go back in from here. So that's not too bad. A little bit of manual intervention for now, as we've done in the past anyways. We will have to make the automations a little bit later, but there's a lot of things to automate, but we haven't gotten to them just yet, but we will, because I will be determined to do so in the near future. But we do need several things to do in the base itself. Is move things around, and I want to make a little small control section with all this stuff here too. So like all our O2H2 stuff for our bottles that we have here. Looks like we collected a number of bottles since the beginning. And when I say collected, it's kind of made and accidentally made. So yeah, we just gotta move things around and we should be good. One of these days we'll get back to herb trading. But really, I think all that's left is going back to the eco base and also do some quick trading too to make some funds. Looks like we have 2.7. I guess we can go now to take a quick peek at what we have, or what we could have. Let's just turn that off. I guess we could leave this open to indicate that we have it depressurized, potentially. Ow. All right, that's closed on itself. Okay, so let's head to the base over there, and I'm kind of thinking about just bringing this guy here. Why not? Should be fast enough to do that. So let's just do it. All right, so we'll leave the little ship over there And let's just do our end of the day trading really quickly. So let's see what we can sell. 41 for computers. That's actually not that bad at all. We'll sell that. It looks like we didn't make much computers. Okay, that's fine. Construction components, we have enough to sell there. Detectors, large steel tubes. Yes. Motors, we can sell as well. And steel plates, we'll just sell it. We didn't even look at how much everything kind of costs, but whatever. Not a big deal there. Okay. We do need to buy more iron. And finally, well, iron ore is so much more expensive for whatever reasons than the ingots itself, but sure. Okay. And I don't think I need to buy anything else for now. Yeah. Now 3.6 mil. And I think I can return some metal grids like this one. That'll give me... Oh, I should return this one actually. Now I'm short on this one. I think I had just enough for it too. Oh well. And I think that's it. So that is all that we can do today. And I think the next agenda is to potentially upgrade the base a little bit more. We have the power collection, but we might need to do a power station with batteries and things like that too. So that could be an idea. But if not, I think we still also need to get more ice. So we need to attack some outstanding bases out there. Like the Buffalo Camp, Badger Camp, which is pretty close by, and I think those are easy to take care of to collect stuff. The camps should have ores and ice and everything like that, so I'm definitely gonna have to venture there and see what I can loot up. But in the meantime, time for bed. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.